Who is asking for a C? Who is asking for a C in Kumasi? This is why the Kumasi people
just
are
an expression.
angry with it. No one in Kumasi is asking for a C. Why do you break?
Let me land.
Okay, you land.
What I'm saying is that instead of us concentrating everything in Accra and maybe just Accra, Ghana is not Accra.
I agree.
Ghana is not Accra.
I agree.
And if people elsewhere, like the Dubais and other countries, are making bare lands become so fertile, Israel, they are making things happen. So this is why I'll say that Cheddar is being futuristic.
I mean, apostolic governance, it's a title, it's some title right here, but it's the 12 ministries.
12 pillars for economic freedom. This is Cheddar's way of saving Ghana from its economic woes. And here on Sauce and Pepper, we are asking if these 12 pillars are indeed feasible and it meets the times in which we are. Kingsley, he says he's going to run an apostolic governance. 1 president, 12 ministers. What do you make of that?
So, the Cheddar guy, to be honest, I don't know. I can't seem to trust him, and I don't know why.
Okay.
Viewers shouldn't get me wrong, but
you can't put your hands on...
There's something about the guy that is shady for me.
It's not adding up.
Yes, the whole thing about wanting to be president.
You know, he's coming at a time where all the successive leaders we've had have been very old. More of them have been 60 plus. I don't think we've had a president who is even less than 50, of age. So if a young, vibrant man like Cheddar is coming, I think we should be excited, no?
We should be ordinarily, but this is the case where we don't know you. You just popped up. See, we live in a country where somebody knows somebody. Someone grew up in a community where they can easily say, I know your mom, I know your dad, you did this, you were doing this work, and now you are here. We were sitting down, boom. A gentleman pops up and says he's built some hotels, he's doing stuff, and all of a sudden wants to be president. Like, he's granted interviews trying to explain his wealth and how he struggled and he's now making it and all of that. But that aspect of him makes me skeptical whenever he speaks. Like, I don't know. There's something about him I don't trust. But everything he listed, or the thing we watched on Sunday, and maybe we'll go into it.
All right. Yeah. So exactly. So let's forget the man for a moment, okay, and look at his policies and what he wants to use to redeem Ghana out of its economic woes, right? So he has one pillar that says that raise 50 billion by monetizing Ghanaian citizenship. It means people would then now pay to become Ghanaian citizens.
Bro,
and he's projecting to make $50 billion out of that.
So when I was watching on Sunday, I had a lot of highs, but one of the lows is actually this point. Like, why? Our citizenship is now for sale.
Well, it's not for sale. You know how even if you want to go to United States of America, you need to follow a process, and even if you want to get a citizenship, there are things you have to pay for till you get all of these things. So if we are to replicate that,
but they are not making it a government policy that this can transform their country, right?
Right.
And the 12 pillars is to transform the country Ghana. And we are saying that by selling our citizenship to other people, who use that money to finance ourselves, I don't get that logic. So is it in diplomacy anywhere that you can mortgage your citizenship to make sure that you get money, just like we are doing with our cocoa and our forest reserves?
If your country is attractive, be it business-wise, tourist-wise, cultural-wise,
what value do we put on our citizenship? So just because you come to invest, it is a license for you to get our Ghana card. It's a license for you to get our passport. Is that how cheap we want to become as a country?
No, so he is saying that now, to even if you invest, even to still get our citizenship, to be called a Ghanaian, you have to pay for that.
The payment is not my problem, but it is like a precondition to say that if you want to be a citizen of Ghana, just go and gather some $50 million or $10 million.
Okay.
Come and open up any manufacturing business or any business of your choice. And because of that, you are guaranteed a Ghana passport.
Well, to be fair to
when
him,
they don't have,
it's limited to only Africans, all Africans.
And I'm saying that we are in this continent and we know how some people are even xenophobic in their countries. Right. You don't want a situation where people feel like, okay, the easiest way for me to get to Ghana or become a Ghanaian is to just look for some money and say, oh, I invested into this brand or I am opening up this company. So because of that, I become a citizen of Ghana. Like, I just do not understand the rationale.
How about this one? Make Ghana a tech hub, build a nuclear plant, and construct a renewable energy infrastructure.
That is good, but how is he going to do it? He tried explaining it, but it wasn't satisfactory for me.
Okay.
And we are in an era where we've seen Shege. So now we won't let anything slide. Right. How are you going to do it? Yes, we know you are saying you make sure that our gold and natural resources are well utilized and all of that. But give us a plan. That is what I wanted to follow. I thought it was going to follow after the launch. Maybe a document to say, I'll be doing it like this. My first 100 days, I'll be doing it this way. When I get this is how I'll be doing it for it to become a tech hub. Everything you are saying is just face value. Bawumia is saying similar things. John Mahama is saying similar things. And I'm talking about his explanation. It is not different from the other political parties or even independent candidates we have. But how are you going to make it your own and do it for it to be successful? We need a plan. We need a document.
I agree with you 100%. And I'm very excited for the ordinary Ghanaian, how now they are questioning things. And more especially with, proposals such as these. Now, there's one thing that runs, like you see that he's very particular about the use of blockchain, crypto, and all of that. And one of his policies all our mineral resources put on a blockchain to prevent galamsey. This is how he intends to fight galamsey. And galamsey is a serious problem as we are speaking now. Ghana Water Company is threatening to shut down 2 plants in Kumasi because of galamsey activities. And recently there was a presser that says that now their operational cost has shot up because what the purification, the things they use to purify the water. Now they had to resort to the last one. The one they are using, they say if they don't have any option at all, that's what they go in for, to purify the water. And that is very expensive. And all this is as a result of galamsey. And Cheddar is saying that, look, let's put all our mineral resources on a blockchain, and this will fight galamsey.
And how would that help us? Putting it on the blockchain, how would they help the ordinary Ghanaian? We live in a country, even though we are driving the digital agenda, how many of us can even access some of these things? How many of us? Or we are saying that we will be reserving it for the elites who are up there or people. So what happens to the people who do it and may not have this level of education?
Right. Or who don't even know their way about it.
Again, he should come back and tell us which people is he targeting with this blockchain thing. Because for some of us, the fact that we can read and write doesn't mean we understand how this blockchain stuff works.
Right.
One of the things till date I do not understand is how this cryptocurrencies and trading and all of those things, they're just throwing words about. But
I even feel like a lot of the people who are on this crypto and all of that, they do not understand themselves. Because if you ask for explanation, if they start explaining to you,
and
you
this
realize
is individual
that
level,
they don't even understand.
And this is individual level. And we are talking about a serious business of governance.
Yeah.
And we want to risk it. I'm not saying it's not doable, but I'm saying that how many people are we going to start with even? How many minerals or I don't know how it's quantified. Tons. Are
Yeah.
we going to put on
Metric
there
tons.
what value that will come to, and how are we even going to pilot it? How are we going to start? And which people are you targeting? Because the people who do the mining, I tell you, they have no clue about how some of these things work. All they know is that they go down there, they wash their thing, they get what they can get, and then go and sell it.
And you know, one thing he's famous, he's known for, is the fact that, you know, Cheddar and C, bringing C to Kumasi and all of that. Well, as part of his 12 pillars, he says that we are going to construct Ghana's first water transportation and an 8,000 kilometer of railway line across the country.
So initially when I heard it, even before the 12 pillars thing, I also laughed, just like we're all laughing on social media. But listening to him on Sunday again, I was like, it's doable.
It's doable.
It's not far-fetched at all.
You know, talking about this canal thing, you know, the first time he made that proposal that he was going to bring the sea to Kumasi, here on Dizropt, what we sought to do was put a costing to it. That, okay, we've had a canal before, which was built in Egypt, and in a very long time. So we took that price at that time when it was built, and then we just opposed it to now, the costing of that. And if I tell you the amount, and if you compare the amount to what we would gain in the long term, economically, it didn't make sense. And I am urging viewers to go and look out for that video on Dizropt, Still Sauce and Pepper.
Well, from where I sit, I think the guy is trying to say that.
Okay.
Just as you think Accra is your biggest landing site, or wherever you want to say, the capital and everything is happening here, we equally have people in the Kumasi or the Ashanti region who equally do not have to travel all the way to the coast or where we have some of these things in order to access some of the things. Right?
See,
so look, let's take the sea to them, and not, you see, we are always complaining. We are always
who is asking for a sea? Who is asking for a sea in Kumasi? This is why the Kumasi people are angry with it. No one in Kumasi is asking for a sea. Why do you bring? Let
me land.
Okay, you land.
What I'm saying is that instead of us concentrating everything in Accra and maybe just Accra, Ghana is not Accra.
I agree.
Ghana is not Accra.
I agree.
And if people elsewhere, like the Dubais and other countries, are making bare lands become so fertile, Israel, they are making things happen. So this is why I'll say that Cheddar is being futuristic.
Wow. Futuristic Cheddar. But I would rather have him invest in a railway line across the country. I feel like that if we have a government that comes to build a railway line across the country, it would solve a lot of problems like accommodation. Today, one of the biggest bane of the youth is accommodation. Do you know how expensive it is to rent in Accra? But if I have a railway where I can have work in Accra and still move from 45 minutes by train from here to say Takrade, I don't mind, because people take car from from Ashoman to Circle just to go to work. Say plus traffic, you could spend about 30 to 45 minutes on the road. So if I am working in Accra and I've been able to afford a decent accommodation, say in Takrade, and I have a railway system, a transportation system, which is train, that takes me from Takrade to Accra in 45 minutes. It would even decongest Accra. Now people would now be okay to move from Accra.
You are rather adding on to his suggestion, right? He's saying that that's why we are asking.
So I would rather have him invest in railway. Forget that. We don't need that.
You wanting to invest in railway, you are not a presidential candidate. Are you going to pay forms? You are talking. The guy is going to pay 100,000 to do the things he wants to do. But I'm saying his vision is different from Akufo-Addo. You two, your vision is different. Go and pick form and make sure this happens.
You heard? Until you pick form, keep quiet. You know, for me, as a creative, there's one of the pillars he mentioned that I took particular interest to. He says, build Hollywood studios, help artists own their catalogs, musicians earning reasonable royalties and owning the distribution and recording platforms.
For some reason, I think this is where his
strength is.
Yeah. It makes me excited.
So wait,
I don't know.
So are you saying that Cheddar is an entertainment person more than a governance person?
Unfortunately, as a brand person, that is how I perceive his brand to be. Maybe because, like I told you, he just popped up as a hotelier or someone who owns hotels and houses and all of that. And most of these houses, when they take them, it's for entertainment purposes. His building at the Osude is enjoyment. Quality resident enjoyment. So for me, I feel like this is where if he tells me he wants to do something, I can sleep and know that Cheddar will deliver.
So you are comfortable with Cheddar in an entertainment space than in a governance space?
For me, I think he will qualify to be one of the best tourism and creative arts ministers if any of the governments decides to take a chance on him.
Okay, so these has been the 12 pillars of Cheddar's new force in order to take us out of our economic woes. But, you know, even speaking to Kingsley, you get the impression that there are so many questions to be answered, you know. And one thing we have established is that promises have never been our problem. Laws have never been our problem. But one thing that has been our problem is implementation. And that is what we are asking, that how do you intend to implement this? Where are the policy documents and all? These are the things we are asking right here on Sauce and Pepper. Any final words?
So we are not even trying to belittle whatever Cheddar has done.
Right.
But we are saying that we need further and better particulars.
You heard? That has been Sauce and Pepper. Till next time, we're out.